Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we'll understand how we can communicate between the microservices. So for this, we are going to use RabbitMq. Alright, so what you could do, you can install RabbitMq in your machine from this website, and the current version is 3.8.3. So once you install it, you should be able to see the same setup. I mean to say service in service.msc, RabbitMq, right? Since I have already installed it, that's why it's showing running. I mean status is running. And after this, there is a portal which this RabbitMQ comes with a portal where you can see all sorts of information related to your event, like consumer event, exchange, queue, right? So the portal is accessible over this port number 15672. By default is disabled, so for that you need to execute one command, then only it will be enabled. So what you could do, you can copy the command from rabbitmq.com/management.html, and this is the command. So you just copy it, and I'll tell you where to execute it. So you need to go to your C drive and program files where you have installed your RabbitMQ, and then go to sbin over here and open a command prompt and execute this command. Copy and paste. It's taking a while. Anyway, I have already installed it, so there is no big deal. It will say this message enabling plugins on the RabbitMQ. All right. So once you enable, you will be able to access this port number 15672, and the by default username and password is guest. All right. Once you log in, you should be able to see all the options like overview, connection, channels, exchange, queue. Mostly you will be dealing with these two, like exchange where you will publish the message, and queue where you will be consuming the events. All right. And you have some more settings over here like a virtual host, and then you have users. Virtual host you will be using when you have you will be using like when you have multiple projects, and all the projects are using the same RabbitMQ. So just to avoid the cross event communication, right? Assume if both the projects are having some similar or maybe same event name, so there will be a big problem, right? Just to avoid that, we can use virtual host. So virtual host is kind of you are creating a boundary. So one project will use the events within using with the virtual host. For example, I have created something called project one. So using with this name, you will be able to communicating within your microservices, and the project two will have to create another virtual host saying any name. Just example, you can say project 2. So in that, all the microservices will be communicating between that project 2 boundaries. So that's where we use virtual host. And user is a simple like any other website. You can create many users and keep the administration like policies, like you can attach to those to that particular user. As simple as that. All right, so that's all about this management portal. And what one more thing is over here. So exchange are like four types, by the way. So you can see from this tutorial link. And mostly we'll use, by the way, like in like majorly we use direct message or a fan out, by the way. I'll explain these two first. So in direct, what happened whenever we send a message to the exchange, it directly goes to one consumer. So for example, if we take this example, somebody might have uploaded an image and they're saying crop. So crop is the routing key. So what exchange will do, exchange has many consumers. So in this example, they have like archive 1, archive 2, and the cropper and the resizer. So when they said, okay, I want to resize, so whoever sent the message to the exchange name is images right now. So what it will do, it will just send the message only to resizer if the routing key was set to resizer. If the whoever is publishing and set the routing key as a crop, then message will only go to the crop microservice. I mean the crop consumer, I mean to say. All right. In case of fan out, even whatever message you are sending to the exchange, the same message will be available to all the consumers. I mean to say all the queues. That is the basic difference between the fan out and the direct. We use heavily these two, by the way. All right. Now let's see how we can do the same thing. I mean how we can publish and consume from our .NET Core Web API code. So first I'll show you the demo. I'll just say F5. In my same service, I have consumer and the publisher. Alright, so I have created one post API, and from here I should be able to publish one event. So what I'll do, I'll type hello, and I'll hit execute. And in my I am getting this debugger, and I'm using event bus to publish the event, and my event name is sample demo event. All right, so let's publish it, and I'm having a consumer, and this is the handler. All right, so that means I published and I got the message in my handler, and you can see that message is nothing but hello. All right, so this time what I'll do, I'll release this. So that means I acknowledge the event, that is done. If I go back to the queue over from the portal, so this is my exchange name, API event sample event, and you can see the this queue is attached to this exchange. So if I go inside, you can see over here the count is 0 because I published one event and I consumed one event and I acknowledged also. So that means there is no event pending. Here you can see consumer is equal to 1. That means my service is still up and running. I'll show you. See, the debugger is running. If I stop it, it will become 0. So I'll just stop this time. Now the consumer will become 0. I'll just need to refresh it. One sec. You can see now it became 0. That means there is no consumer live. Alright, now I'll run it again. So now this is up and running, and I'll just go back to the portal again. You can see it became 1. That means there is a one consumer which is listening to this queue. Alright, now I'll show you one more thing here. So let's publish a new event. This time I'll say hi. I published it. Now I got the event, but I'm not doing anything. Okay, so I'm still kind of processing. So I'll just go back to the portal. See, it's showing ready means 0. That means one event, and it went to unacknowledged right now, unacknowledged. So it's showing 1 because that means the event is still in the progress. All right. So if I stop the service in between, this event is not acknowledged. So that means still it will be in the queue. So I'll just go back to this portal, and you can see it became ready. Ready means there is a one event which is pending in the queue. So if any consumer is there, they will get this event. So if I restart my service again, which I stopped it, so I'll start it again, I should be receiving the same event again. See, I got it. If I go to the portal, this ready will become 0. Refresh it. One second. Yeah. So ready becomes 0 and unacknowledged will become 1. And once I process this event, I'll say F5, and the ready will become 0, and this message is acknowledged. So that's why it's went to total count is equal to 0, and the consumer is still 1. Now I'll show you how you can, when while debugging, sometime what happen, you want to see the message in the portal itself. Maybe you are not receiving the event in your code, but you want to see if it's really published to the queue or not. So what you could do, I'll publish one event again. I'll say 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it's published. I'm not doing anything. I'm just putting the event on hold, and I'll go back to the tool. I'm into the portal. Now there is this method called get message. How many messages you want to download? Since I have only one, it doesn't really matter if I put higher number. Okay, it's saying one queue because it's in a process. So for that I need to stop the service. I'm not acknowledging the event. So you should be able to see this event over in a ready state. It takes a while. Yeah, you can see now. You should be able to see that message in the portal. I'll say get message. You can see this 1 2 3 4 5 6 over here. Can you see that? And since my property name is also message, that's why you are seeing a message coming twice. By the way, ideally when you will publish any event, your part will be coming inside these two curly braces. All right, and here you will be having a complex object, or ideally we should not have a complex object. It should have a minimum information to act on it, right? So my property name is message, and this is my value. All right, now let's see how I am achieving the same from C Sharp. .NET Core 3.1 I am using right now. So demo I have already showed you. No, I'll just I'll just show you the code walkthrough. So there is something called startup class. In program there is nothing. Once you will create any normal web API solution, right, you will get all the necessary code. So major thing is inside a startup where you will be actually creating the event pass and registering your receive endpoint. So that I'll show you first. So this piece you can download. So I'm using one library called MassTransit. So that is the library which is helping us to communicate between this, for publishing and the downloading the event. Downloading means subscribing. So this is just a basic configuration which we can directly get it from the MassTransit website. All right. The major part is this one, receive endpoint. So since I have only one event, so I am just, I need to, consume that event. So I need to, somewhere register that. Okay, so I'm saying, okay, my consumer name is sample demo event. So this is the event which I'll be expecting from the exchange. And what I need to do, I need to, since I was showing those handlers, right, event handlers, that is nothing but a subscriber for me. So I need to register this event against that event, against this event, right? So that also I need to register in the startup.cs. So what I'll do, there is something called, first I need to register this handler, and I need to register this handler against that event. So I am doing configure event over here. And I just by the way, for just to show you the this demo, I just hard coded this RabbitMq configuration. Like my RabbitMq is running on local host, and right now cluster is disabled. Virtual host is slash. It means it's a root path. That means there is no project 1 and 2 I am doing, because I have only one demo. So that's why I'm using slash. Ideally, we should not use slash. It should be a proper name, and that proper name will come from that portal. All right, and then this is again I'm using the same variable and username and password. Ideally these things should be coming from app setting. This is the basic setting you will be doing. And there is one more thing, how I'm converting that RabbitMq message into, and I'm passing to the handler. So for that I'm using reflection. How? I'll show you. So as I had already told, I am registering the handler against this event. So whenever the event is coming to this solution which is coming here, I'll show you the event consumer. So we need to inherit one class called iConsumer, which comes from the MassTransit. You can see over here, and we need to inherit this method called consume, and this is the context object which will have the event. So whenever the event is coming, I'll just put a debugger over here. I'll show you, and just hit F5. Like just 1 or 2 minutes before, I showed you, like I published one event and I immediately got into the handler. And now this time I put the breakpoint in between, how the event is how the handler is actually getting called. You can see over here. So that means one event is still pending, which I didn't process it. So what I'll do, I'll just process it. This is the thing I was trying to show you. What happened? Okay. So you can see, so my event name is sample demo event. And so what it will do, I have registered the event and the handler also against that event. All right. So what it will do, it will search that handler. So it got the handler object. All right. Now what will happen, this handler is having that handle method. This is the method, same thing which you will be able to see here, right? So using reflection, we are calling that handler method and passing that message context dot message, which is nothing but same thing, right? This object we are passing through this method. That's how we are getting called the handler. You see, we are able to get that, we are able to call that handler method. All right, and you can see the message, right? All right, that's pretty much about this demo. Thanks very much.